Okay.
Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, where I'm very happy to have Rich Woodruff here with, of course, the American Red Cross. Great to see you, sir.
Pleasure.
I'm just happy you're in town, because I imagine you've been called to a lot of stuff lately here.
Well, we caught a little break for a couple of weeks, and then California fired up again, literally. Southern California. Quite a few fires up there. We've deployed, at last count, 7 or 8 folks from our region.
Wow.
Mostly shelter workers, that kind of thing.
Because a lot of, certainly a lot of people being, finding a need to have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
This is something I imagine for you guys, you're probably looking at going, yeah, we're probably going to end up with a little bit more activity with it, I would imagine, because it doesn't seem like this is going to slow down anytime soon.
Well, you see the fire itself, the response mode, mostly it's emergency sheltering, taking care of people that are displaced, but then you have to get into the recovery mode, and that's a lot longer process.
You guys get real busy, don't you?
Yeah, a lot of casework.
Wow, I bet. Let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, this is the continuing mission of the American Red Cross is one that not everybody understands all of it. They think about the simple things that, like you said, like a place to stay, perhaps blood donations, things like that. But there's so much more. What goes on.
Well, there's several service lines, but to start with the disaster, it's actually a cycle. Internally, we call it DCS. We love our acronyms, but it really means Disaster Cycle Services. And translated, that's a cycle of preparing for, responding to, and recovering from disasters. So we kind of live in those 3 worlds. So we'll be talking about fire safety. Download the Fire app. Of course, if we have to respond, we have that capacity, and then we want to help the community recover. So as they recover, moving ahead, they're more resilient because we're teaching preparedness and we're letting them know that there's some ways that you can lessen the risk and help in those disaster scenarios.
This makes what we're about to say a measured approach right now. Good timing to talk about this would be, what do we need to do to prepare, and what are some of those possibilities? Here we could have a wildland fire again. Of course, we're not going to have it till fall, but that's why we want to prepare now, right?
Sure. Yeah, and we've seen it. We've had it. We're prone to that type of disaster. Again, preparation is key. Do you have a 72-hour kit if you need to get up and go? A lot of these people get very, very little warning. So even the small things, like if you're under evacuation potential, have your car backed in the driveway, have a couple of different routes of escape, maybe make sure you know how to gather your pets very quickly. You want to be able to move quick. Evacuation plan, preparedness. If the call comes, you're ready to go and you're prepared and not caught off guard.
Yeah, because I don't think people understand that, like you said, the warning may be very short. You may not get it initially if you're not, if you're not paying attention to what's going on, or you don't have the alert set up on your phone or something like that. And so it might be somebody coming and pounding on your door. You got to get out now, right?
We see that these fires have a mind of their own. You just, especially in these high winds, you just never know where they're going to go. I mean, they can burning an acre per just a few seconds, so that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
And so when the call comes, you don't want to get caught off guard. So again, the preparation is key. One of the tools that we use is an app. We have an emergency app that has wildfire prevention information, and also even how to mitigate around your home, how you plan. All that comes into play, because if the fire comes, you've lessened that danger to your property as well.
Right. Yeah. A defensible space being one of those. Having making sure their fence doesn't come up to your house necessarily, especially if it's wood.
Keep the gutters clean.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep the roof top. Clean.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some real serious stuff there that people may not think about.
Sure.
And then, of course, another part of this too is how we can help each other. Right. So talk about what the American Red Cross asks of each of us. Are we all asked to take on the call of helping?
Well, I think you see that happen a lot. The culture of preparedness, and you see a situation, again, it's the tragic mass casualty situation. You see everyday people that do extraordinary things. You see the best of people come out in disasters. You see people helping each other. You see that the floods, people bring their boats down there. So sometimes first responders are overwhelmed. So a lot of times as citizens we can become immediate responders. And so thinking along those lines, are you CPR trained? Do you know basic first aid? Especially in a mass casualty situation, you could literally save lives, and that's actually what happened.
Yeah, I think that's worth discussing even a little bit more. The fact that we've sort of kind of gotten away from, I feel like, I don't remember the last time somebody said, hey, make sure you come to the CPR class. locally. You know, it does happen. You guys offer them.
Sure.
Your companies used to do this quite a bit, and some of them don't anymore. But reminding ourselves that, yeah, CPR, even the process has changed. We don't no longer, you know, you're no longer blowing anybody's mouth. You shouldn't be if you're doing it right. It's all, you know, with chest compressions. Right? Things have changed, and we need to make sure we're up to speed. Well,
and it's interesting you mentioned that. We're rolling out a new program, and we have these really high-tech CPR dummies for hands only, and they actually are coated with different lighting, and so as you teach, you can see how you're doing. Is the compression hard enough? Do you have the right rhythm to it?
Wow.
And it's a really valuable tool. I think they've named it Big Red, so it's got a little marketing schmazz behind it. It's kind of a cool thing. So hands-on is a big deal right now, and the Red Cross is really promoting that.
Absolutely. And then of course we get to the the obvious one, which is giving blood. You guys have a constant need that never goes away.
Yeah, glad you mentioned that. Winter months, people travel, you have snow, you have conditions that preclude blood drives, schools are out of session. So it is a critical time of year, and in fact we do a lot more promotion of blood drives. We want to constantly remind people that, you know, every few seconds somebody needs blood. One blood donation can save up to 3 lives.
Wow.
Platelet donations, of course, are important for cancer, so cancer treatments and such. So it is a time of year that we want to remind people to give blood, as well as financially, of course, always helps us.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, because this is a critical part of what's going on in California. The financial need is significant, isn't it?
The costs go up, you know, the needs go up. We have to pay for the transportation of these volunteers. There's a lot of generosity, a lot of donations, a lot of in-kind support, but the cost of these operations is pretty significant. And then we do give financial aid. We offer emergency assistance, and so we basically give people money if they need to buy clothes, food, temporary shelter, and then we align with other agencies to help, you know, with the more longer-term picture. So
awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Well, before we laud it ourselves here, anything else that we should be talking about, Rich?
Well, we should be talking about hypothermia. There's a lot of information that we have on winter weather, winter safety. Yeah, you know, frostbite's an issue. How to dress, warm layers, tightly woven clothes. Cotton is not a good thing because you tend to sweat. So there's a lot of detail about being safe outdoors. How do you walk on ice, for example? How do you identify risks? How do you stay warm? What do you eat? What do you drink? All these things come into play. You know, too much to go into in detail now, but it is that time of year where there is danger out there. So, you know, learn how you can be better prepared and what to do if you get into a trouble situation.
All right, I want to talk about that for a minute. So I want to take a quick break, come back, we'll talk a little bit more about winter preparedness and also about a really swell award that we got here at Park City Television from the American Red Cross. That's all coming up in just a moment. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, where we continue our conversation with Rich Woodruff of the American Red Cross. And of course, we've been talking here, you and I, for several years now, and of course before you, even a few more before that. Mm-hmm. And we've always been very impressed with what the American Red Cross does, and it offers us the ability when something bad happens and we're asking the public to help, we know right where to point them. We go to American Red Cross because you know where you know where your money's going, you know where your support's going. And it's been an important thing to us. Mm-hmm. And I am so excited to graciously accept an award from you guys. This is awesome.
Well, and you guys are such great supporters. I mean, the media support makes a huge difference. Yeah. It helps amplify the message of our mission, which is actually on the Red Cross. I'll read it. The American Red Cross prevents and alleviates human suffering in the face of emergencies through the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. Wow. So when you think of those two things, we're 95% volunteer-based. We're not government supported. So whenever we are on the air at Park City TV, we're advocating for the Red Cross. We're promoting the mission of the Red Cross, and so people understand really what that mission is.
That's
so
awesome.
we're recognizing your wonderful support on an ongoing basis, and it's not just the greater Salt Lake area, but the greater mission in general, but because you guys have a much broader coverage than that, but we wanted it to be localized, and so it resonates a little bit more.
This is just awesome. We're very excited about this, presented to Park City Television, and grateful recognition for your ongoing support of the American Red Cross. And you know, honestly, it really comes back to our viewers too, and I want to thank them. Because we know that when we've asked for help, they've come on board and they've made a difference in what the American Red Cross does. We've got a very generous community here in Park City, and we know that they step up in big ways, and that we're just thrilled that we can be part of that. So I want to thank you so very much for this. This is just tremendous. This is, we love Emmys and things like this. I like this a lot more. This really means a lot.
Well,
so
it's great community service, and again, thank you.
Absolutely. When just to kind of continue that, make sure that we are giving the messaging our folks need here locally. Winter preparedness is so important. People die of hypothermia, and we probably don't talk about that often enough, but it happens.
Yeah, it does. Again, back to the preparedness cycle. I mean, preparedness is important in a lot of areas, but outdoor dangers, how you dress, what you eat. Small tips like alcohol is a bad thing because you lose body heat. Do you understand what wind chill does to your body? It removes the heat. What are some of the signs of hypothermia? Frostbite can be a big issue. Usually they go hand in hand. Some of the dangers of frostbite, it's numb. You may not know you have frostbite. Little tips like don't use hot water, use warm water to thaw out, use body heat. So there's a lot of tips and things that you can learn to be more safe.
And we can find a lot of this on the American Red Cross website, I'm certain.
Sure, yeah, redcross.org. It's information rich, as I say. Probably the best thing is download our app series. There's an emergency app that has a lot of outdoor safety tips, both for fires and, of course, in this topic, outdoor safety. So there's a lot of stuff there.
And there's one thing you and I have agreed upon since the very beginning, and that is the most important thing that you can carry in your car. Certainly, without a doubt, there's two things, but probably the very most important one is making sure you have that space blanket, because with that one thing, you can stay warm, you can gather water, and you can survive. And that is maybe the most important thing you can have with you.
Body heat's critical. Little quick tip there, if you do get stranded somewhere, run your car maybe 10 minutes every hour, keep the inside heat, make sure the exhaust pipe is not blocked by snow because you don't want carbon monoxide. And let people know if you're traveling for the holidays, let them know when to expect you. Let them know the route that you're taking. All those little things can make a big difference. That vehicle could be your lifeboat, so stay put and wait for help.
Stay there. Yeah. That's what we're looking for, is that vehicle.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Rich Woodruff, of course, with the American Red Cross. And as always, we ask for your help in supporting the mission that they continue to do. There are many people in California who are in need of assistance right now. The American Red Cross already on scene doing the work, the yeoman's work of making sure that those people have shelter. And of course, the recovery effort, that hasn't even begun yet. So it's coming, and they'll need your help. So make sure that you support the American Red Cross by going to the website, or perhaps going right down to one of the offices to give blood. More to come here on the Mountain Morning Show right after this.